Hello everyone, welcome back to the video series of the object oriented programming with the Java. Our today's topic for this particular video, that is a recursive helper method, tail recursion and generic method and class. I am an instructor Mr. Ankit Patel. So let's start first topic, that is the recursive helper method. So a recursive helper method, it is a recursive method that is called by another method, and usually that method is a non-recursive method. The overloaded method is called as a recursive helper method, and the recursion and the real functionality of the program is performed, it then function itself. So most probably recursive helper method, mostly the recursive function is there and we are calling that particular recursive function by using the non-recursive method. That type of functionality is known as an recursive helper method. So I will also explain this particular all the topic of this video with the live programming. So don't worry about this is just a theoretical concept. I will also explain with the program. Same as a next topic, that is a tail recursion is there. Now what do you mean by the tail recursion? So here the tail recursion is a way to minimize the size of the stack, and which is used at the time of recursion. So the size of the stack can be reduced by performing all the operation at the time of the recursion itself. So if there is no operation left after the last recursion call, so that is known as an tail recursion. So most probably tail recursion, that means our last recursion call, that's known as an tail recursion. The last recursion function calling, that is called as an tail recursion. So I will also explain with this particular topic with the program also. And the last topic, that is a generic class and method. So what do you mean by the generic class? So here, if we could write a single sort method, and that could sort the element in an integer array as well as string array or an array of any type that support the ordering. So suppose if you want to sort the string array, character array, if you are not using a generic, you need to create a one method for the integer, you need to create for method for the double data type, string data type, float data type, character data type. You need to create all the different method for the different data type. But in case of you are using the generic concept, you need to just create a single method and you can call that particular method for the any data type. That is the advantage of the generic. Now next, Java generic method and generic class enable a programmer to specify with a single method declaration, as I told you, a set of related method, or with the single class declaration, a set of related type respectively. So that's why we are using a generic. We create a one single class and single method, and that class and method we are using for the different data type. So let's discuss what are the different advantages of the Java generic. So mostly there are the three main advantages of the generic. The first one, that is a type safety. That means we can hold only a single type of object in a generic. Means suppose if we are using, I have already told you about the array list. In array list, what happens? We can store any type of data. We can store a string, we can store a float, because this is a dynamic array. We can also store an integer value also. So now suppose you want to specify a restrict array list to the specific data type, for integer, for character, for double, for a string. So at the same time, if you are applying a generic to that particular, or if you are applying a type safety to that particular array list, you can store only a specific data type value, like you can only store an integer or you can only store a string. That is one more advantage of the generic. Then the typecasting is not required. So here, wherever you are using a generic, there is no need to typecast a particular variable. Like you are creating a method for double, you are creating a method for string. So there is no conversion is required. It will automatic is there. So there is no need to typecast the object. And the last advantage is a compile time checking. So here it is check at compile time, so the problem will not occur at runtime. So all the checking of the, if you are talking about the conversion, if you are talking about the integer, character, float, double, all these different method we are creating in a single method. So all this conversion, all this typecasting is converted at the compile time, not at runtime. So that is a one more advantage. All checking of the generic related, that is done at a compile time. So hope you understand all this topic as theoretical. Yeah, so I will explain all these three with the programming. So without wasting so much time, sir, let's start the programming. Now in this session I will show you the example of the recursive helper method, tail recursion, and generic method and generic class. So let's first explain about the recursive helper method. So what do you mean by the recursive helper method? So here I am just calling the recursive method from the non-recursive method. You can see here it is a program for to check the given string is palindrome or not, but using the recursion. So now I have created one class, that is a recursive helper is there. Now in that particular class I am created one static method. So I have created main within the same program. So that's why I am creating a static method. Otherwise, if you want to call this particular method, you need to create an object. There is no any specific reason behind the why we are creating the method as a static. Okay, I don't want to create the object of that particular class. So is palindrome is a method, right? So here the is palindrome method. Now in that particular palindrome method, I am just here passing in that particular method. I am calling the another method. This is not our recursive method. This is non-recursive method, and I am calling a one recursive method here. I am passing the total string, whatever the string from 0 to string dot length minus 1. So I am passing string, its 0 index and total length of the string. Now in is palindrome, if the low is greater than high, what is the value of low? Our index. What is high? Our length of the string. Then it will return a true. That means that both string are palindrome. If the s dot caret of low is not equal to, I am comparing the first character with the last character. So here the last character value, that is high, and first character value, that is a low. If these two characters are not matched, then this will return a false. Else return is palindrome, low plus 1 and high minus 1. If the first and last character is matched, I am comparing with the second and second last character. So at the end you can see here my main function is there. In main function I am just checking that it is palindrome moon. So moon is a palindrome string, no. Noon is a palindrome string, yes. And naman is a palindrome string, yes. So this will print a naman palindrome, noon palindrome, and in the form of true and false. So let's run this work. So what is the use of the recursive helper method? Recursive helper method tell like we can call a recursive method from the non-recursive method. Let's compile first of all. Recursive helper dot Java is there. Then Java, then recursive helper is there. So here the moon, that is a false, noon, that will print a true, and naman, that will print a true. So you can easily understand the concept of the recursive helper method. So this is our program. Now next program, that is a tail recursion. Now in a tail recursion, what it tells, the last recursion, this is again program for the factorial. I am just calculating the factorial of the any program. So I created one factorial method is there, fact, I am passing the number and return the fact of n comma 1. So here the factorial is there, here the two method is there, fact with the one argument, fact with the two argument. So here fact, I am passing the n and the result. So if n is equals to 0, the result will be what? It will just return the result. Else it will return the fact of n minus 1 and n into result, right? Whatever the default value for the result. Here I am passing system.out.println, I am passing the factorial value of the 6. So first of all it will call this method, this function, right? Here the n value is 6. So what is our value for the next method? That is here 6 and result value is 1, right? So here if n is equals to 0, no. So what will happen? 5 n minus 1, that is here 6 minus 1, 5 comma 5 into result, that is a 6 into result, that is a 6 into 1, that is equals to 6 is there. So here the result is 6. Now here the n value is 5. So here the 5 is there. So now again the comparison is like 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into where the n becomes 0, this will return the result. And if you just run this particular file, Java C, what is our program name? That is a tail recursion dot Java, and you can return the factorial of 6, that is equal to 720. So tail recursion, that means the recursive function is the last function in our program. So this is called as an tail recursion. Now next topic, that is a generic method. So here I am using a generic method for calculating, for sorting our data. So now as I told you, now suppose if you want to sort integer data and suppose if you want to sort a string data, you need to create the two different methods if you are not using a generic. But now in case of generic, you just need to write out in a stereotype T. In Angular, just you can write a T or you can use any letter. So static T void sort, I am not using a data type. In place of data type, just write down a T. Then K of array, whatever you are passing over. Just first of all, I am explain about the main. I am using one integer of array and one string of array. I just want to sort P and sort S, and I am just print using the for each method for integer a to p, and I am using just integer of array and string of array. Okay, so now whenever you are calling this sort p method, here the sort I am using the arrays dot sort. That's why I am include the java.util method, java.util package. So directly you can sort the data arrays dot sort k. So you just need to sort all this data. You can also put this logic like two for loop is there, and you just sort the data, but there is a directly method available in the Java, so I am use that particular method. But now using generic, you no need to create the two different method for the integer as well as for string. Now you can check the output here. Java C generic method is there, generic method dot Java, and Java generic method. You see here, first this is the output of the integer array sorting, and then this is the output of the string array sorting. I have not separated with the message, but you can easily understand this. Okay, so now this is the example of the generic method. Same the example for the generic class is there. So now in a generic class, wherever you are writing this class name, just write down the in a stereotype any letter, you can write a T, you can write a PQR, you can write XYZ, you can write a. But why in this particular program I have written a PQR. So in data type, you no need to write just integer, character, float, double, just write down the PQR. Here this is a program for exchanging the value of the two variable. So PQR I am using X and Y, wherever the variable is data type is used, I am using the only PQR, P, PQR, Q. X is equals to P, Y is equals to Q, and I am using the swap logic is there. So temporary data type for is a PQR, temporary is equals to X, X is equals to Y, and Y is equals to temporary. And I am displaying the value of X and Y. Now in a main, you can see here, in a main, whenever you are creating the object of this swap, the class, you need to just specify what type of value you are passing in a constructor. Why? Because we don't know here 10 is an integer or 10 is a double. So that's why here we need to write in a Angular bracket, this is an integer value, this is an string value. Just need to just pass the class of the data type. So here I am passing integer value, here I am passing a string value. That's why I am written in Angular string. Same as in array list, you can also write like this. Then s1.swap display, s12.swap, then display. Here what is the value of X and Y? 10 and 20. So let's run this program. The value will be displayed in the swapping manner. Java C generic class is there. Java, one error is there. What is that error? It is annotation represented in explicitly, so we are not compiling it properly. Java C generic class dot Java, then Java generic class. You can see here what is the value of x. We are passing a 10, here the value will be in 20. What is the value of y? 20, here the value will be in the swapping manner. Same for the x, y, z and abc. So hope you understand the use of the generic class and method. So I have explained all these 4 topics with the programming. So this is the end of the programming session. So thank you very much. If you have any doubt, you can feel free to ask me. Thank you very much.